thing about rolls with timpani, these are not buzz rolls like on snare drum. These are actually called single stroke rolls, which you alternate back and forth. Okay, so very similar to if I played 16th notes, 1 eanda, 2 eanda. So very similar to 16th notes, except we have to make it sound really smooth. So on the higher drum, I might roll a little faster than on the low drum. So here's an example. Two different speeds, so you have to be careful when you're playing on a higher drum. Be sure that you roll a little bit quicker to where it has a really smooth sound. And on the lower drums, what we're going to do is spread our mallets apart just a little bit and then play a little bit slower of a speed of those strokes. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I'm going to play a few examples in this passage. So at the beginning, you start at piano. And notice that you have all these dynamics and cutoffs, and I'm going to do some things in here where I touch the drums. That's called muting. And the only time that you really mute is when you see a rest. Okay, that's the general rule. So in the first full measure, I'm going to put my hands down on the drums to silence that note, that 8th note. So example would be this. 1 and 2 and. That's example of how to mute. So I'll do that one more time. 1 and 2 and. Just like that. So you're muting the sound to make sure that you're following what that music says exactly. So if it has a rest, you're going to make sure you silence the drums. Okay, at the end of the rolls, for example, in the first line, second full measure, you have a roll on C, and then it's tied to a C 8th note. This is how that should sound, and it's a decrescendo. And ready, and go, and. So you roll, attack for the release on 2, and then mute on 3. I'll do that one more time. 1, ready, go. Just like that. Now I could do a better job of a decrescendo, so I'm going to do that again. So we hear an actual decrease in sound with an attack on the end. 1 and ready and go and. So that's a few things about this piece. You're going to notice at the very last line, there's a little flam on the 16th note on beat 2. That should sound like this. It's on the C, so count 2, 3rd measure, last full line of music. 2 eanda has a flam. So flams on timpani are a little bit more open than they are on snare drum. So that flam, we actually want to hear a separation. Just like that. A little bit of, so it's open. Okay. And I believe that's all the tricky things that you're going to see in this piece. I'm going to play all the way through it, and I wish you the best of luck and happy practicing. See you at the auditions.